Okay, so very good afternoon to all. I welcome you for the next lecture on production planning and control. So we have already discussed, friends, what is production, then what is control, what is planning, and what is the combined meaning. Then further, we have also discussed about this, what are the different functions and what are the objectives of this production planning and control, and what is the difference between the production planning and production control, and what is the significance where this production planning is required to be discussed, and what is the scope of this control, when the control function will come into picture, that also we have discussed. And now let us move further this production procedure. So we will discuss today in detail about this production procedure by taking an example. Then further we will be discussing about line balancing. What is the significance of line balancing? Why it is required? And if balancing is not there, then what will happen? And how to balance? What is concept of bottlenecking and how to balance in order to avoid bottleneck and in order to avoid, or we can say, less work in process inventory. So these all are different aspects. So this is our outline of today's lecture, and let us start with the production procedure. Okay, so from where this production starts. So I will take the next. Here we will discuss. So production procedure starting from sales forecast. Based on the market research, and this forecast is prepared with breakdown of product as function of time based on very first market research. So forecast we have already discussed in chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 is completely related to forecast only. So we have already discussed different methods of forecast and how this forecasting is important, and what is the under forecasting, what is over forecasting, and what is optimized forecasting, and whether the error will be positive, whether the error will be negative. These all aspects we have already discussed. So now based on this market research, the forecast is prepared with breakdown of product as function of time. So it is not the case that all product will require at the same time. For example, a product is required to manufacture. So let us assume that later we will take very simple example, and so let us consider any bike example. So if you consider this unicorn, one of the bike, so forecasting is there that in the month of April 2000, at one particular we can say outlet, the 2000 bikes are required, and overall if you consider the demand for that month maybe 1 lakh bikes. So for this 1 lakh bikes, this is the forecast that 1 lakh bikes will be required. Now breakdown of the product, ultimate outcome we want to achieve 1 lakh bikes, but the bike is having different parts. You assume that there are 1000 parts in the bike, considering from small nut, bolt, screw, springs, etc., whatever. So when which part is required, that is very important. So it may be piston rings, it may be engine parts, it may be clutch, it may be brake or some tires and the rim, the brakeless system, and you can say the clutch part and the headlight, then indicators, then silencer, etc., etc., and some of the additional accessories which will beautify the bike. So it is not the case that all components will require at the same time. So whatever the main chassis or frame of the bike, and then assembling one by one part, then it may be the case that the tire will require at last after complete bike is ready. Again, a very extreme case, after 100% readiness of tires also, etc., everything is there, then it may be the case that this seat and the seat cover and the cushioning and different, then you can say having different logos or that fitting is required. So like this it may be the case. So here in this forecast, what are the different parts, what is forecast for that particular product, what are the different components required to complete the product in order to fabricate, to assemble the product, and what are the different that components are required with respect to time. Some of the components you have to procure in the month of January, you have to start it, then some in February, some in March, and if we want that delivery of the bike should be on 15th, Then some product, it can maybe the possibility that we can procure that product on 5th of April also, very last stage of the assembly and at the time of dispatch. So this is the difference. And if the parts are required at the last or we can say last date of March month, then why to procure that product from start of January, so that our money will not be invested in that particular case. Very, very important. So this is the sales forecast and analyzing the forecast in order to place the further orders in order to go for purchasing the product. So this is required. Then preparation of production budget. This is prepared by finance department and sent to management for review and decision making. So preparation of production budget. Now we are having the forecast. What is required? What are the products that we can make? What are the products that we are buying? So make or buy, already decision is there. And this is the list and this is the complete budget. This is the order, and for this is the forecast. And in order to achieve this forecast, this is the standard thing that we have to go for. And what is the production budget, starting from man, machine, material, everything taking into account. This finance department will prepare a budget, and the budget will send to management for review and decision making. Then as there is a this is already established product, whatever example we have taken, many example you can take. One of the example we have taken as unicorn. So for this case, management will immediately approve, because if the sales there may be somewhat plus minus, that is out of 1,90,000 bikes will get sold, and 10,000 will remain as inventory. Again, that not that much bigger issue for that company. But if this is the some new product launching and we don't have, this is only forecast based on the other products, that our product may survive because we are entering in the field newly, then in this case management may go for something that you can say curtailing in the budget, or instead of producing 1 lakh, if the forecast may be 1 lakh, okay, let us produce only 50,000 and let us try analyze. If there should be a demand, oh, this product is not available, 50,000 only, the product is not available. So next time when we will launch the product, definitely more hike we will get and more sales will be there. So the decision may be taken by management according to the product. So this second stage is the preparation of production budget, and management will approve the production budget. Now next stage, forecast is ready, budget is approved. What are the things required now? What is the stage for manufacturing? Very first, preparation of details by engineering department. Very important. So drawings, then part list, it is BOM, bill of materials and specifications. So this bill of materials you might have studied in machine drawing. Whenever you are drawing the sheets, and then at the right side of the nameplate you are writing the, in assembly case you are writing the bill of materials. If you refer the industrial different drawings as per as different products are concerned, so wherever there is assembly drawing, then there is mentioned a bill of materials. So what is this? What is this? Bill of materials. So whatever the components that are required for making of one product, what are the drawings? If you take one bike, then there may be one master plan, and in that master plan, assume that the master drawing is consists of 50 sub drawings, and then the 50 sub details assembly will be there, and when this 50 will come, then they will go for one drawing. So let us take here very simple example that you might have studied already. Let tail stock of lathe machine, etc., whatever. So what is this drawing? So what is the dimension of that particular tail stock? What is the spindle dimension? Then let us take that the body. Then part list means what are the different things required for that particular case. So you can take in tail talk that one spindle may be there. Then inside for moving to and fro, one inside lead screw may be there. When we are rotating, it will come to, and again when we are rotating in reverse direction, it will go back. Then you can say some plunger arrangement. Then some of the one shaft through which the plunger is moving, coming out and again going inside, and then the complete base. And again, when it is moving on the carriage, again that part. So whatever you can say, 5 6 different parts you can take. Now the bill of material, serial number 1, tailstock body, material, cast iron. Again you can mention periodical gray cast iron, whatever the grade we want, and the quantity required. So like this you can go for. We can take different examples of this bill of material. So what exactly the bill of material consists of? It consists of the part name, the quantity required, and again the material, what is the specification required, and if any details if required. So this is the bill of material, that complete assembly drawing, and by this bill of material we will come to know that what exactly that part is and how much quantity is required and what is the material. So it will give complete idea about the particular product. And drawings, what are the different tolerances? If you take any of the part, then what are the tolerances for that part? What is plus and minus? What is the material? What is the angle given? What is the surface finish requirement? Which type of building is required, etc., etc. As far as drawing is concerned, you can go for this. A lot of things are there. So this is about the preparation of details by engineering department. Then production plan supplies complete data to dispatching section. So here, this is not the final state dispatch. You don't go by this dispatch. So production planning here, now quantity is ready, budget is approved, and engineering department has prepared detailed drawing also, which part is there and what are the different operations, at least by looking to the part they are required. So now production planning. Planning means what? What is our capacity available? The number of lathe machines, number of drilling machines, number of milling machines, grinding machines, welding, whatever available in the plant. This is the complete analysis of capacity available with any industry. Then, what is the manpower available? Skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. Then, what are the different materials available? Okay. And what is required? Man, machine, material. And then assigning the different tasks. This is complete production planning. For example, any of the case, it is mentioned that plus minus 30 micron tolerance. Okay, only 2 CNC machines are in the shop and 30 micron only produced by CNC machine. Shall we wait all the jobs for CNC machine? No. In this case, the production planning person, what he will do? He will go for making the rough, means for example 50 plus minus 30 microns. What he will do? Ordinary lathe machine. What is possible by ordinary lathe? 250 microns, no problem. 50 plus 250 microns, whatever is the dimension, 50.25, it will be completed on the general purpose lathe machine. At least up to that stage, CNC will not be used, and only for that final touch. So on CNC, it may take 2-3 minutes for loading, machining 2-3 minutes, unloading 2-3 minutes. Within 10 minutes, one job will get over. So like this also, if any of the machine is not 100% available, then can it be possible to have some different machines? This is production plan. Who will perform, where to perform, when to perform, how to perform, everything. It is nothing but production planning. Process planning will be there and everything will be there. And this supplies complete data to dispatching section. Means what? For example, on CNC we will perform, no problem. Operator is ready, material we have decided. Now when that job will go to CNC, and if it is required, that carbide tip tools and the carbide tips are not available then. So this is again under production planning, that this job will be loaded on this CNC machine, and this is the requirement, 1000 quantity is there. So be ready with the carbide tips in next 15 days. So like this plan is made well in advance. So whatever the tooling is required, not only direct related to job, this is indirect material required. So tooling, then grinding, then super finishing, hand finishing operations, the material handling, if any special feature is required, if any jigsaw fixture is required, then how that jigsaw fixture is required to be, how it will be made ready so that the job will not wait for that jig and fixture. All these features come under production planning. Very, very important. Then authorization for production. Now this is the signal that start production. Authorization for production. So dispatch of production orders. So now up till now, everything only plan, plan, plan. Everything is ready. Now start production. So this is authorization for production. Means material will be provided and cutting of the material, then loading on any of the machine, then first operation, second operation to next machine, next operation, next machine, semi-finish, finished goods, and up to assembly. Production started in all aspects. That is authorization for production, dispatch of production order. If something is required to be get it done from outside, for example, any manufacturer like Honda or Bajaj, they are not going to manufacture the nut, bolt, screw in there. No. Then whether they are manufacturing the indicators and the silencer parts, again no. So everywhere there is a dispatch, means we can say subcontract. So already vendors are there, and these vendors are approved vendors. Means here before they have proven the quality of that, and they are not only means approved for one of the agency. For example, any silencer maker. So that owner may be approved from Bajaj also, Honda also, TVS also, and etc. etc. So these are the companies who which are approaching to that particular person for making of silencers. So, like this. So very this is also again authorization for production. Asking that product person also start silencer making. Already the same example we will continue. In the month of April, 1 lakh order is there. So that 2-3 different parties are there. They will be in a position to supply you silencers in by lot. So in the month of February and in the month of March. So that main company will be, that Unicorn will be in a position to supply 1 lakh Unicorn bikes in the first week of April. So try to understand, friends. This I am example helping, means I am trying to give more and more focus with respect to example, so that and concern example I am giving for referring that particular point, so that the concept will get more and more clear. Then control function, now very important. Up till now just planning and execution. Now planning is done, execution also started. Everywhere that vendor has started making silencers, all the parts are started making, everything is going smooth, and all are working day and night continuously. Shall we meet 1 lakh order in the month of April? A big question mark. We may not. What is required here? Here main function is the control function. What is control function? Whether our current status is as per the requirement of 1 lakh bikes, whatever we have decided in the month of April. So let us assume that 3 months target is given. So by considering 28 days in April, so it is assumed that 35,000 bikes or whatever, that 35% work may be ready in the January, 35% in the month of March, and remaining 30% in the month of February. So you go by percentage, you go by bikes, or there may be the case that month-wise some production is required. So control, are we on a track? What should be decided? If we are saying that let it be rough, let it be not 100% bikes ready, but whatever the stage is required, that up to this stage all bikes should be ready at the month of January. Up to this stage everything assembled, everything ready, at least 70%, 1 lakh bikes 70% ready in the month of February end, and then in the month of, you can say, March, maybe 20 or 25th, everything testing etc also okay. So this is the control function, whether the progress, whatever progress is going on, whether it is in line with what is planned, and a continuous tracking of the progress, it is nothing but the control function. Now how it will go? Next is inspection, quality control, to ensure the production of items as per specification. Now silencers are produced, piston rings are produced, whatever the parts required that are, we are demanding what that particular company, that 30,000 silencers per month. So 35,000, 35,000, 30,000, whatever as per the demand. They are providing also 35,000 quality. What is the expected quality of that particular silencer? If it is not getting, then what is the use of that quantity? So to check, to inspect whether it is as per our requirement or not. Let us assume in simple word that a job 50 plus minus 25 microns. 35,000 that we are making components. Same example I will continue. So 35,000 it is achieved on the 28th of January only. Till 2 days are in our hand and we can go for next further order. So we may reach up to 40,000. But if we go for checking the quality, then it is observed that 4,000 parts are defective. Only 32,000 are okay. Here are two concerns, my friend. So here very first part is that 4,000 parts will be whether NCR or DCR, non-conformance report, by or DCR, deviation conformance. Somewhat adjustment in that particular product can we use? If this is 50 plus minus 0.20 or say 20, sorry, 30 microns. So if there is minus 100 microns. So whether there is a scope, whether that particular part is matching 50 minus 100 micron. If we go for doing something on that particular part, can we save this 4,000 parts loss? Question mark. If yes, then discussion with this production planning and design and the third party or the party for which we are manufacturing. And again, if we can go for by continuously conducting these minutes of meeting and recording that this is the deviation, and to confirm the deviation, this is the remedy, and you can call it as deviation confirmation report. DCR is raised. I am telling you, friends, these are the industry terms used in industry, and that part is accepted. NCR, non-conformance report. 50 is required, minus plus minus 25 or 30 microns, and your case is minus 250 microns. And after having the minutes, etc., everything trying possible. No, that 4,000 parts should be rejected. Then again a big gap. So though the quantity is reached whatever required, but whether is it as per the quality? If yes, no problem. If no, again quantity should go hand in hand with quality. This is very important aspect. Therefore, friends, the inspection and quality at intermediate stages, not at final. Intermediate stages is required in order to overcome the losses. We should ensure that no any rejection should be there, because until and unless this rejection should be lesser, one cannot achieve the target. So this is, I can say, related to inspection and quality control. And next is evaluation of production system based on last two types: control function and inspection quality control. So what is this two parameters? And as an outcome of two parameters, next will be evaluation of production system and feedback on improvement. So this production system is capable of producing 35,000 parts as per the requirement without any problem, without any rejection. We can say that okay, everything is going smooth, no problem. If there are some problems, then these are the two machines which are producing that faulty components. So let us have to work on these two machines, not to use these two machines or not to use these two operators for that particular work, and let us assign. So go for the root cause analysis, why it is not happening at, or what is the exact gap, why that particular target is not meeting as far as the quality and quantity is concerned. And the change in the production system means use of different machines, use of different material, use of different manpower, or use of different method is required to be incorporated in order to achieve the set target. This is next step, evaluation of production system. Then after having all these things, finally you will get finished a good stock as per required quantity, as per required quality, within required time, with appropriate cost. These are our four main objectives of production: right time, right quality, right quantity, right cost. We will get the finished good stock, and finally dispatch to customers. So here you can observe, friends. So here this feedback is given to management. This feedback is given to management, and this production budget is given to management for approval. And this production system, if anything want to change or having some problem, then this is also feedback given to management. Already the forecast feedback is also given to management. Then and then only management will approve the budget. Until and unless management don't know that 1 lakh product is demand in the market, they will not approve the budget. Therefore, very first feedback is given to management about the forecast, then budget approval, and then whether our production system is having capability to meet the required demand with appropriate quality, quantity, time, and appropriate cost. This feedback is given to management, or if anything is major changes are required, then the finished goods will be ready and the goods will be given to our dispatch department. The dispatch department will send it, and now as per as the unicorn example, we can see it will go to main warehouse, and then it will go to whole means main dealer at district level, and sub dealer, and then where that small showrooms are, as per as this different you can say villages or cities are concerned. So this is the cycle, and after dispatch to the customers, again there is one feedback taken, that how is the bike, what is the performance, how is the product, and whether there should be, there may be a questionnaire, there may be polls, then there may be some forms, there may be interviews. We have discussed all these different methods. So the feedback is taken and feedback is given to again that sales forecast in order to have corrective action as per as the further production is concerned. So friends, this is nothing but the you can say the complete cycle of the production, or rather than I can call it as production procedure. Okay, just wait. Okay, so we will move to next concept after having the complete idea about this, you can say the procedure for production. Now next is completely new concept, line balancing. So we will take the example first, that what is the requirement of this line balancing, what is the concept, and how we can proceed, then what is the scope, and what are the different requirement as per this line balancing is concerned. So this is a very simple example where engine parts are shown. So we will not go in detail that what are the different engine parts. Okay, so line balancing, just I want to highlight this concept. This is the line balancing because see, assume that this is the main engine part, and you can say this is the piston, then connecting rods and shaft, and these are the piston rings, etc., etc. So let us assume that any one person is there, and that one person want to manufacture these all parts. Then whether that or industry, you assume that same industry will manufacture first this piston ring, this piston, then these all parts. Then for this production of this one engine, that industry may take 1 month, 2 months, or maybe 1 year also if the engine is larger. So whether that is affordable with this space, with the speed, whatever the engines are manufactured, can we cope up? So here is the evolvement of this line balancing. So line balancing means what? Different parts are made at different workstations. Let us assume that the industry has divided 50 different workstations. So one workstation will manufacture this piston rings only. One workstation will manufacture this piston only. One workstation will manufacture this crank and this part. One workstation will manufacture this, you can say, the valves. So like that. So different parts are there. So 50 different workstations are there, and the 50 workstations will manufacture the different parts. And now the activity is divided into parallel. So what is the maximum time? So for example, let us assume that all these will go hand in hand, all things parallel. So let us assume that for this particular main body or that particular engine is taken from the casting, and this finishing or machining of that casting on any one machine, let us say CNC, it is taking, for example, 1 hour. Okay, so let us assume that this 1 hour is the maximum time, highest time required in this particular cycle, because if you consider any individual part from this, so that any individual part is getting ready within less than 1 hour after taking the raw material. Or at any one workstation, I am telling, because if you consider casting, again the casting is at some different workstation and or maybe procured from any one of the foundry. I am telling you, consider one workstation. At that particular workstation, that drilling or that complete machining is done. So this is the maximum time utilized, and all other times are lesser. Then the maximum time for that this particular engine for any workstation will be 1 hour, and the remaining parts will be made parallelly, and so that finally you can say, if only on one line or one workstation if we consider, and then we want to make all these components, it may take 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. But this all 50 workstation run parallelly, then there may be the case that whatever the component required for one engine, that engine main body is not ready and the other parts are waiting for assembly at one of the station, maybe after 20-25 minutes or 30 minutes, or let us say 1 hour. So 1 hour all components getting ready, 1 hour this component getting ready. So after 1 hour they all are coming on one table for assembly purpose, and within that next 15 minutes assembly is also getting ready. This is, I am just trying to give you, friends, the example of line balancing. Let us proceed further. So what is happening in previous days and what is the current scenario as far as the balancing is concerned? So friends, now you can see here, these are the different workers. So whatever I have given you idea that this is the piston ring and these are the pistons and some, you can say these walls. So different workstations are there and different workers are handling the different workstation, and they are going for assembling also. So see here, assembling of the piston and piston ring and then piston rod and then crankshaft. So this line up to this 50% will do this, then it will go to next fitting to the engine, it will go to next, it will go to next, and like this you will come to know. So that particular worker or that particular workstation has to finish the work, because next workstation will not do that work. Another work is already assigned to next workstation. This is the scenario as far as this manual interference is concerned. If you see the current scenario as far as any automobile industry is concerned, so you can see very less interference of man. So everything automized, sensors, robotics, and artificial intelligence, in one word I can say. So what are the different operations? The line is continuously going on, and this one particular car, whatever that body is there, it will be there for one workstation, let us assume for 4 minutes 30 seconds. In that 4 minutes 30 seconds, the robot will complete whatever the desired operations for that, and then continuously it will move for next 1 minute to next workstation, and again the same operations continue. So this is the application of AI and robotics, sensor based. So in previous days, this is completely manually. Though the concept of line was there, the parallel work is going on, the line is there, but the line balancing somewhat by manual means. And here you can see this. This is the another example of line balancing. And here the use of robotics and artificial intelligence is more as compared to the previous case. So this is also required to be considered in this. Okay, line balancing is the sorry, apportionment of sequential work. It is nothing but distribution of work activities into workstations in order to gain high utilization of labor and equipment, so as to minimize the idle time. So distribution of work. Let us take example that all parts are ready, the main part is not ready. All parts will wait for it. Okay, then only 2-3 workstations are there. It will manufacture first this component, then second this, then third this. So up to producing third component, the first 2 components will wait for assembly. So this is the idle time, and if we reduce the idle time, the total time will get reduced, and the total time is lesser, productivity is more, because the same man, same machine utilized for lesser time as far as that operation is concerned, and more production is possible ultimately. higher output and which will give higher profits. So line balancing is distribution of sequential work activities into workstations in order to gain high utilization of labor and equipment. So man and machine, higher utilization of man and machine by proper distribution of sequential work. Sequence is very important. 1, 2, 3, 4, next. So as to minimize the idle time. No material should be idle. It should not be the case that car is here and one car is waiting for one workstation for 1 hour. No operation is done on that particular whatever semi finished or 50% made car, whatever. It should not happen. Assembly line balancing is associated with a product layout in which the products are processed as they pass through a line of work center. So this is the complete product layout. The machines are arranged as per the sequence of operations required. So if first operation is drilling, then drilling sets are there. All the drills will be made. Next, reaming will be done. Next, then whatever next is there, that tapping operation, then fitting of the screws, next, whatever operation. So it is associated with complete product layout and it will pass through as a line work centers. An assembly line can be considered as production sequence. So all the operations, keep in mind friends, all the operations are sequentially performed, where the parts are assembled together to form the end products. So let us see that this is one line. Here you require one product. So one some of the product come from line 1, then line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, and all 6 will combining together on line 7. And after some time, and then they will be produced in order to get the final or end product. The operations are carried out at different workstations situated along the line, already discussed. So let us see one example, friends. How the line is balanced. The production capabilities of two machines, lathe and milling machine, for a particular job. So assume that I will scratch on this particular machine. So we will not use this machine at all. Okay. So assume that we are having one lathe machine and one milling machine. Okay. The lathe machine is producing 50 pieces per hour and the milling machine 25 pieces per hour. So the material is received, no problem. The material is given to lathe machine. After 1 hour, 50 units are ready. How many units are ready? 50 units. That 50 units are given to this machine B, that is you can say the milling machine, but it is having the capacity of 25 only. So after 1 hour, what will happen? After 1 hour, here you can see only 25 pieces will be ready. And here 25 pieces will be idle. I will call this as WIP, work in process inventory. So these are semi-finished. These are neither means completely not finished, unfinished or no, and whether this is complete finished product, that is also no. So this is raw material. Some operations are already performed by lathe machine. So lathe machine is producing 50 per hour, but that one machine is having only 25 capacity. So 25 will be passed after 1 hour and 25 will remain as it is. You say then, sir, next 1 hour. Okay, next 1 hour, these 25 will go out, but at the same time, 50 more will come. So what is the solution for this? So let us go for balancing the line. So let us go for, we can say, making the another machine active. So this is the example you can see. So now 50 produced by lathe machine, we are having milling capacity 25. So let us go for 2 milling machines. So the 50, we will divide this 50 as 25 for machine and this 25 for another machine. What is the capacity of this 25? Okay, so 25 will be done by this 1 hour, 25 will be done by this hour, and ultimately we will get the 50 as the outcome. Okay, so here what is the WIP, work in process inventory? No, work in process inventory 0, because 50 produced by lathe machine, 25 given to machine number 1, 25 given to machine number 2. They are having the capacities of 25 and 25. So ultimately we will get the 50 as output last. Therefore, work in process inventory will be reduced to 0. So no in work process inventory, very very important. So this is nothing but the line balancing. This is nothing but, friend, line balancing. I want to give you one concept related to this, that if this machine is having the capacity of 25 and if 50 are coming and only 25 can go out, so this we can call it as, okay, before proceeding further, let us have one example related to this. I will call this particular as, you might have heard the word bottleneck. I have already given you the idea about this and we have already discussed also. What is bottleneck? The all operations will not perform, or that any one particular machine, if a lot of jobs are coming, then the capacity of that machine is lesser, then few will be processed and remaining will be there only. So once again I will highlight the concept as bottleneck. See, this is the diameter, this diameter is larger, and if it is coming to opening, again it is very smaller. So if I want to empty this, make the bottle empty. If I will start water falling down, then it will come through this nozzle, but this is lesser as compared to this diameter. It will take some time to fall down. Assume that I will cut the bottle from here, this end between, within fraction of second, the bottle will get open. So why I have given this example. Let us assume one more example I will give related to this bottleneck. So friends, let us assume that okay, your class. So BE division A, 80 students are or 75 students, whatever, 75 students are in a class, and the 75 students are attending the form lecture. Now lecture is over. Okay, there will be a lunch break. You all want to go out. Okay, so as far as our classrooms are concerned, doors are there. So let us say that two doors are there. So this is one type. So door and door, this we will go for. So assume that one door is locked. So if there is such a condition that only one person can go outside at a time, one person can go outside at a time. Assume that 75 students are there, so that all students will come near the door. But how many can go at a time? One. This is nothing but, friends, bottleneck. This is nothing but bottlenecking. So that outward entry is lesser and whatever the flow inside is more. So for they have to wait. This is nothing but work and process inventory. One by one student will go. It is not the case that they will not go outside. It will take 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes to make the hall completely empty. This example you can take at many of the places. This is one simple example. It is more easy for understanding purpose. Therefore, I have given this example. Okay. Let us proceed with one more example, friends. So here, okay, don't consider this. Let us go one by one. Okay, so a production procedure is there where it is required to perform first operation as drilling, second operation as milling, third operation as a grinding, fourth one is the assembly, and fifth one they will be produced at output. So drilling is having capacity of 4 per hour. So that machine 15 minutes one job, so 4 jobs in 1 hour. It will go to milling. The milling is having capacity 12 per hour. But drilling is only one drilling machine. Let us assume that one drilling machine is there in first stage, one milling machine, one grinding machine. Okay. So milling is having the capacity of 12, but only 4 are produced. Okay. So it is underutilized. It can proceed further more 8 jobs. It can proceed further more 8 jobs, but the jobs are not available. Every time there may not be a bottleneck. So this is reverse case. So 12 jobs per hour. So only 5 minutes are required. So whatever the 4 jobs given to this machine, it will get completed on 5 into 4, 20. And what is the remaining time from that 1 hour? 40 minutes. The machine will be idle, no load for that particular machine. This is another case, friends, that you can see. Then again, only these four, after having 40 minutes idle time for milling, again it will proceed whether there is six capacity. So we are providing only for 6 per hour. So 10 into 6, only 40 will proceed further, and the machine for 20 minutes, again the machine will be idle one. And 12 per hour. So 5 minutes assembly time is there, but we are providing only 4. Again, there will be 40 minutes idle time. So it is not the case that only one machine is sufficient. So friends, let us proceed further and let us try to balance the line one by one. So in first case, I have assumed that okay, all centers one we have considered. Only one drilling and only one grind. Now let us go for here 12 are required. One drilling machine is producing 4 components. So how many drilling machines are required for 12? So let us say 3. So 3 drilling machines are given, and I can say here machine number 1, machine number 2, machine number 3. This is line balancing, how to balance the line. So 4 from this machine, 4 from this, and 4 from this. 12 jobs will be ready for that milling. And what is the capacity of milling? 12. So no lesser, no more. This up to this line is balanced. So now after this 12 grinding, only that one grinding capacity of 6, but we are producing 12. So one more grinding is required. So that grinding station also, you can see here, this is station number 1, this is station number 2. So 12 jobs are there, 6 will be given to this station, 6 will be given to this station, and both jobs will be ready. And when these jobs will be ready, again assembly line 12 is the capacity, and this 6 plus 6, 12 jobs it is getting. So, and finally output 12 per hour, we can easily achieve. So friends, this is the case. In this way, one has to go for this is the particular line balancing case. So initially I have considered the example as one only, that one milling, one drilling, one milling, one grinding. And by considering this, what is the idle time, what are the jobs required, and how one cannot, and for what time that machine will be idle, that 40 minutes, 20 minutes, and it is ultimate loss for that production. This we have discussed, and then we have discussed about how to balance the line. What are the different machines, maybe drilling or maybe grinding, that required to be added in order to have the uniform production, uninterrupted production. So like this. And this last point of the assembly line that we will discuss, and then we will stop. So advantages of assembly line: uniform rate of production, continuous production is there, uniform rate is there. In 1 hour 12 per jobs will be get ready. So every hour 12 12 12, it will neither 15 or neither 8. So 12 job will get ready. Less material handling is required, as the all the production centers are as per the requirement. So it is product layout: lathe, drilling, milling, grinding, assembly, for example. In generalized case, lathe, drilling, grinding, again lathe, again some milling, then some material problem. So more material handling is there. So in this particular assembly line case, less material handling, less work in progress inventory. So as the lines are balanced, I have given you example. So less work in process inventory is there. Easy production control. If something happens wrong, something goes wrong, some quality is not meeting, or some lesser production is there, that we want 15 but only 10 are reaching, then it is very easy to find out that where is the problem, because all the lines and all the stages are well defined. Then effective use of facilities or labor, definitely the man, machine, material, and method, all the things are utilized very effectively, and less overcrowding oblique blocking. So there will be less blocking. Or it is not the case that very less items are available at one station, or it is not also case that all the items available bottlenecking. So it will try to avoid that also. These are advantages. Now disadvantages, friends: more capital intensive. This is only for mass production like this. Whether there is order of 1 lakh component, 2 lakh component, huge order is there. If we are having 1000 and batch type order, we cannot go for this type of layout. Low flexibility. As we have arranged lathe, drilling, milling, grinding, dispatch. If any other job will come, which is having the first operation milling, then drilling, then lathe, and then again milling, no, less flexibility. In that case, more material handling will be there. And monotony, repetitiveness for that work of operator. See, if one of the worker is handling that particular bit or that particular that, let us take example of nut bolt. So his task is that 8 screws are there, pneumatic operation is there to check whether the 8 screws with same pressure they are tightened. That's it. Next, again 2 minutes. Next, again 2 minutes given, 8 screws. So monotony of work continuously, 8 days, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, and up to whatever time, same work. So monotony of work. So friends, these are the some of the advantages. Okay, so today we have discussed about the procedure for production, and then the what are the advantages, disadvantages, scope, and what is the assembly line. Okay, thank you.